Well, good morning and welcome to a windy Mondello Park here for the last round of the 2024 Infinite Energy ICCR. I'm getting blown around a little bit here. It is very sunny at Mondello Park, but we've been warned about a storm incoming this afternoon, and the wind is starting to whip up just a little bit. If we had a wind farm, we'd be laughing, but we've got a solar farm here at Mondello Park with Infinite Energy. You can see the solar panels behind me on the corporate suites and on the museum across the road there. Across the track, I should say. We're almost ready to get going, as I should say. A lot of championships to be decided today, so a lot of nervous people around the paddock, a lot of tactics being involved. We've got Irish Strikers, Zetec Fiestas, ST Fiestas, the slightly quicker ones. We've got Boss Ireland, we've got the Irish Legends who are on their rolling lap now, and as we said, Boss Ireland, say it's Supercup, all the rest. We've been working on the championship positions. We will be able to update you on screen with those as the day progresses, but meanwhile I'm going to head back inside and get in out of the wind and commentate on this Irish Legends race. Well, yeah, a little bit windy out on the balcony there, folks, but it's nice and dry inside. No rain just yet. Let's hope the weather stays half decent for the day as the Legends come down, and the distinctive roar of the Irish Legends, 1200cc air-cooled engines spreading out now as they go under the BMW bridge and down towards Castrol Corner for the first time. Somebody going sideways, 77 and backwards into the pack, but they've all managed to, he's reversing at high speed there. Oh, hung on to that well. Somebody with an armful of opposite lock. I suspect that was Dave O'Brien there, just getting out of that one. But that was Willie Lawrence, one of the front runners in this championship, coming in backwards into turn one. So that's Owen Lawler, isn't it, in the Mace car? It is indeed the ex-Fiat racer who's leading this one. Always a beautifully turned out car. He gets right into the apex in the second bit of turn three. Gets on the power early and gets that good run up the hill. He's pretty experienced. He's been karting lately as well in the last number of years. So Owen Lawler pretty quick. I haven't seen too much of him this year, but he's going nicely now and he's out front of this one. He started on pole with Lee Malone alongside him. Then it was Sylvie Bartlett and Willie Lawrence who rotated down at turn one. Then Anthony Malone, Scott Jackson, Gordon Brown, Evan Curran, Richard Spence, James Byrne and Dave O'Brien. So up to Southside Motor Factor's corner for the first time. 13 Lee Malone looking for a gap up the inside, but he gets a big armful of opposite lock as he stands on the power. But I think he has got up the inside of Lawler. In fact, he has, and he gets a little bit of help from behind. That's bump drafting, ladies and gents, and it's perfectly allowed in this class worldwide. They've got these square-on bumpers front and back, but late on the brakes is the karting man and goes right around the outside. And Owen Lawler hangs onto it, or does he? A Campion corner? No, he has to give it away, but it was a brave effort to get it back on the brakes there. Somebody else coming up very quickly. Is that Evan Curran? I think it might be on the outside. It's getting very crowded, and a little bit of help there for Lawler, but 99 pulls out and just drives by there. And that's Scott Jackson, of course. Very distinctive car. That is 241 Evan Curran from almost the back of the grid up to third place, the metallic green car. Somebody, I think that's Dave O'Brien in the background, getting a rough baptism on his Legends debut. I think that's the Jonathan Files car he's in. Dave O'Brien from DOB Sports Cars, well known to us, of course, from Irish touring cars back in the day, and in Say It Supercup, runs a couple of Say It Supercups as well. But these Legends are a little bit of an acquired taste. Anyone that races them loves them, but people that drive them for the first time think they're very different to most cars. They're quite hard to get turned in, as the leader shows us there. And you've got to kind of horse them in, flick them into the apex, and then stand on the power, as you can see them doing in the pack there, and drift them around because they've got no diff. But Malone leads, and leads well now. Scott Jackson right with him though as they go by. Down to turn one, Jackson right down the outside. That's confident stuff, and takes the move back. And is that Evan? It is, looking up the inside for second place. It's all change around. The scrambled up grids in Irish Legends do give us great racing. The qualifying times are not relevant to the grid for race one. They're pulled out of a hat, so they'll always give us good racing. But now it's 99 Scott Jackson. It's 241 Evan Curran next up. And where is our man Owen Lawler? He's back in fourth place now, the early leader. Here they come back up towards the main arena again. A little bit hazy looking out over the back of turn three, and very windy, but no sign of this storm just yet. Hopefully it holds off for a while. A lot of championships, as we said, to be decided here today at Mondello Park. So here they come back towards us again. 99 is Jackson leading this one, Scott Jackson. Then it's Evan Curran. Then Lee Malone, then Lawler, all the rest come screaming through. There's Dave O'Brien, the white car, 104. Dave O'Brien just did a 5.4, so he's quicker than about 5 or 6 cars ahead of him. So maybe he's got the hang of these. Dave O'Brien, watch out for car number 104 there in 10th place. It's just on a time quicker than all but the first 2 or 3. So obviously going nicely in that Jonathan Files car. 99 gets right into the apex there. Scott Jackson, he's well used to these cars. The car all dialed in pretty well. Paul O'Brien's team, POB Motorsport, well known to us at Mondello Park, do a great job preparing these cars and presenting them in the paddock as well. They always look fantastic, and Paul has a great team of lads working for him. And if you wondering about the competitiveness of this class, these guys have gone to the UK and taken wins. The Barrables quite often with Paul O'Brien go over. There's talk of them taking a trip to America for World Championships later on in the year. A little bit smoky, some of the cars there, as they just before they get on the power to come out of Southside Motor Factor's corner. But it's all the same as it was. Scott Jackson still leads from Evan Curran as they go through. Watch out for Dave O'Brien there in the background, right out onto the outside curb. We'll watch his lap time when he goes by again, but he looks like he's catching that pack. Yeah, 5.5, and ahead of him 6.1, 6.1, 6.3, 5.7. So yes, he's pretty much on the pace of the 4th and 5th place guys. So he's going to catch a few cars before this one is out, but not on the pace of the leaders just yet, because Scott Jackson out front has done fast as that in about 4.5, 104.523. Track looks pretty dry now, but certainly this morning was very greasy, very difficult for a lot of the classes in qualifying. Certainly with a lot of sideways action from the front wheel drive cars as they struggle to get any heat into the rear tires. Zetec STs and Minis in particular. So here they come back up towards Southside Motor Factor's corner. It's remarkably calm for a Legends race. Right down onto the curbs in the background. There's the leader going through, and Dave O'Brien has already caught 2 cars as they come back towards us. Gets up the inside of one of them. So despite that spin early on, so it's Scott Jackson, Evan Curran, who's the top rookie in this one, then Lee Malone, Owen Lawler, Gordon Brown, Richard Spence, Sylvie Bartlett, James Byrne, Anthony Malone, Dave O'Brien and Willie Lawrence. Just 2 minutes to go in this one. Legends run a shorter race than the other classes, but they run 3 races instead of 2 during the day here at Mondello Park. If you want to find out more about this class or any of the other classes racing today, ICCR.ie, and just click on classes. And if you want to find out about Go Racing, you can just click the button that says Start Racing. It'll tell you how to get your license, what you need to do, even contacts for the championship, technical regs, all that sort of stuff. So ICCR.ie, that's Irish Championship Circuit Racing. Sponsored this year by Infinite Energy, as we said. They're the title sponsor, and of course the Beacon Hospital, who are helping us to do this live stream, which is absolutely fantastic to get this all our races today streamed live. So many thanks to the Beacon Hospital and of course to Infinite Energy for their support this year. So Jackson, Curran, Malone, Lawler, Brown and Richard Spence, the top 6. Dave O'Brien up another place as they went by us that time. Has he gone any quicker? He certainly has. Dave O'Brien now a 5.022. So he's quicker than a couple of cars in front still. Not quite there just yet, though. Still very quick. When they stay away from each other, the top guys are quick. It's usually when they're harassing each other, they'll slow each other down. That's not happening now. And in fact, Scott Jackson bangs in another fastest lap of a 4 dead and is just easing away. He's 1.2 seconds to the good, and nobody really getting close to his lap times just yet. Just as I say that, though, Gordon Brown 104.1, so that's just a 10th away. But Gordon Brown is down in 5th place, so obviously making good progress. But Evan Curran, top rookie there in 2nd place, then Lee Malone. 16 is Gordon Brown, the red car just trailing a little bit of smoke as he begins to close in on Owen Lawler. Let's watch the lap times. Wonder, can anyone dip into the 63s? I don't think so just yet. Still in the 4s. Owen Lawler with a 4.3 that time round. .375, first personal best for a few of them. Anthony Malone with a 66.1. He lights the screen up green there, showing it's a personal best time. If you're looking at the live timing, green is a personal best. A purple time is the fastest lap of the race. So purple sectors or purple times are what the drivers want to see. It's Scott Jackson from Evan Curran, Lee Malone and Owen Lawler. We're on our final lap for this, the first race of the day at the Infinite Energy ICCR. So the first winner of the day looks like it's going to be Scott Jackson. I don't want to give him the commentator's curse, but he's heading up the hill towards out in Nordic Spirit corner and towards Southside Motor Factor's corner for the last time. copybook race from him. He's got to the front with a brave move down the outside on the brakes. Then he's just got the head down, pulled away. Look at the team, POB Racing. They're delighted with that one. Big thumbs up for him, and he crosses the line. He's delighted too, wagging the finger as he crossed the line. That must be a new thing. Very impressive race there from Scott Jackson, and he's as impressed as the team. They were hanging over the pit wall for that one. Absolutely delighted. Very enthusiastic team. We have an incentive called Keep It in the Paddock, and Zetec Safety, who sponsor the Zetec, have kitted out all the POB teams. You'll see them all resplendent in their POB Racing red and black racewear crossing the pit lane there. So there you go. Scott Jackson takes that one from Evan Curran, who also takes top rookie, then Lee Malone, then Owen Lawler, Gordon Brown, Richard Spence. Sylvie Bartlett is second rookie home, and Dave O'Brien is the third rookie home in 8th place. Then it's James Byrne, Willie Lawrence and Anthony Malone. So that's first race of the day, the Legends. Next up, I think, indeed it is, it's the SEAT Supercup Ireland class. So they're 340 brake horsepower, factory-built, left-hand drive touring cars, the SEAT Supercups, and they're already down in assembly. A little bit cold out there. They might have a bit of trouble getting heat in the rear tires. You will see some very aggressive weaving on the outlap there. You'll see them lifting off and flicking the cars around trying to get heat in the rear tires. Got to be careful in these cars, same as any touring car. On the opening couple of laps, if you haven't got heat in the rears, they can go round, and you don't have too much lock. They've got very little lock left and right, these SEATs, so you've got to ready to be hard on the power if the back does get loose, and just try and get as much heat as you can into those rear tires early on. Legends now coming back into the paddock through the back gate. There's the POB Racing truck in shot on the left, and as we said, they always looks absolutely fantastic. They're one of the few teams brave enough to put up awnings today. We see Murray Motorsport and LOH and the other teams have kept the awnings down because of this all the storm warnings we're having today, but it still looks quite good around Mondello Park, and it's almost time to go to say it's already being released from assembly now and coming out onto the pit lane. So there we are, SEAT Supercup Ireland coming out onto the grid. Paul Parr has been incredibly quick in the second half of the season, and these came from supercars. Well, he might have come from an oval racing background beforehand, but raced supercars here, then into the SEATs. His car is always beautifully turned out. He was incredibly quick here at the last race meeting. Drives the car well. He's really beginning to click with it, and he took pole position this morning. Dave Maguire alongside him. It's championship decider time for the SEATs as well, so they'll all be thinking about points. That's Dave Maguire Senior now, because his son is racing and in the hunt for the Zetec Championship as well. Then Eddie Peterson. Peterson's car is like new on row 2. Max Turley alongside him, the young charger of the class. Watch out for him. Stephen Wright, a rally convert. He's been very quick all year. Barry English, another former oval racer. Then Brian Berry, Paul O'Brien, Adrian McNally and Mark Turley. That's your grid. So as we said, championship time. So there's your points now. Max Turley leads with 160 points. Eddie Peterson 150. Dave Maguire 144. And Stephen Wright 142. So it's really close. Paul Parr, who's on pole position, is 126. And then it's Paul O'Brien on 113. Barry English 95. And Adrian McNally 91. You get 20 points for a win. So who's in there? There's 3 or 4 of them still in contention. They've got 2 races to go, so anything could happen here. But we will have that updated, I'm glad to say, after race 1. Now, the SEATs are doing 2 warm-up laps, and the drivers will be very glad of that. I told you this was going to happen. Watch what they're doing. They're not just weaving around to get heat in the front tires. See that? That's exactly what you need to do, what Paul Parr just did there. He flicks the car and then shuts the throttle, and the back lets go, and he catches it. That'll heat them. It's the quickest way of heating up the rears, is to get the back of the car sliding around. He did that to perfection there, and that's what they're all doing. Generally, you would think they're trying to get heat into the fronts, but not so much. It's the rear tires they need to get heat into, especially on a day like today. There's a bit of a chill in that wind out there, and it will be very, very important to warm up your rear tires. Some of the camera's being rocked around a little bit by wind. Nothing we can do. You probably saw me out in the balcony. I wasn't too steady on my shafts out there myself, so it's really, really windy out there. So we've been out looking at them, but the See It Live team working hard, but there's nothing we can do about some of them. They're up at a bit of a height, and it just is so windy here today. They are secure, but there's a little bit of movement in them. So that's what you're seeing there. There's the view from the top of the tower. Paul Parr still weaving around. Dave Maguire has been racing for many, many years at Mandela Park. Dave Maguire is a top karter, 100cc karter back in his younger days. And he came into racing with the Fiat Uno Cup when that was manufacturer back in the early 90s. He was very quick in that. Went up through Punto Abarths, then into Fiesta STs where he excelled. He was a three-time champion with Murray Motorsport in the Fiesta ST Championship. Then up to these Seats now, which he absolutely loves. Jerry Maguire and Sons is family business. Very well known in the motor trade, of course. So here comes Parr down to pole position. Car looks great. Colour scheme looks well. Gold wheels, lines up just a little bit off his starting place there, but they're side by side. He's a little bit towards the centre, but he should be okay there. Dave Maguire nowhere near his marks. Michael Cullen's just walked in. He's got bragging rights for later on. Dave is nowhere near his number 2 spot. If you look out the window here, then it's Eddie Peterson next up. In fact, they're all very timid, aren't they? And back a little bit. Stephen Wright isn't. He's right on his marks. It's one of the things you see the driver coaches doing in the minis. They're pointing at them to get right up there. You can give away 2 or 3 feet there, and some of them have done that. In fact, Dave Maguire should be able to see that Parr's car is further forward. But easy for me to say from such a height here. But we're getting ready to go. It can be a little bit tricky to get these cars off the line. They do have some form of launch control, but it can be tricky. No problem for Parr, and he blasts away now to lead under the BMW bridge and down towards the newly renamed Castrol Corner. Holds the inside line. Maguire tucks in behind him. Clever stuff. No problems for anyone just yet. Oh, Turley gets elbowed out wide by Eddie Peterson. Very territorial stuff from Eddie there. That's championship. Oh, Turley gets the hops going through turn 2 as well. Puts a wheel off on the outside. It's going to cost him another place from Wright, that is, I think, down the outside. Wright to be brave there with cold rear tyres to go around the outside, but he is brave. Stays there. Oh, they both get a little bit out of shape. Great to see it. And that's Barry English, I think, just in front of them. It's Paul O'Brien behind them as they all come back up the hill and towards the main arena, but they've done well. Wright's got all the way around the outside and has the inside line now for the S's. Should be able to make a seat. There we go. There's Turley with the cold rears. He'll be doing well to hang on to that. Oh, just brushed the tyres on the right-hand side. That puts him right to the back. We should be able to see a Turley charge now. And first on his list will be his dad, Mark Turley, who's in the Murray Motorsport car. And now Peterson on a bit of a charge, trying to get by Dave Maguire. Both championship contenders. Parr's just going to disappear. Is that damage on Peterson's car? It is already. Front right wing, he goes back in for a tow, back out. They're side by side now, heading down towards Castrol Corner. Parr just driving away from all this. Then Barry English in 4th place with a great view of this battle for 2nd. Oh, it's come off. Peterson's are not cars like new anymore. He'll have to rename his, he'll have to get a new logo. So Peterson now in 3rd place, wingless Peterson in 3rd place. I'm sure that aero doesn't really come into play around the National in Mondello, so he should be okay. So Paul Parr, Dave Maguire, Eddie Peterson, Barry English, Stephen Wright, Paul O'Brien, Brian Berry, Mark Turley, Adrian McNally and Max Turley was the order when they went by the line. A little bit of a difference in power. Paul Parr out front only has 310 brake, whereas the cars behind him have 320 and 330, and then everyone else are on 340. That's because you get slightly lower power if you stick it on pole position. It's not bothering Paul Parr at all. He's driving away with 30 brake horsepower less than anyone else on the grid. Here he come onto the main straight, and it's fastest lap for Paul Parr, 59.602. Anyone else going to match that? Nobody else under the minute just yet. No, they're probably all scrapping just a little bit. I think a few more of them will land under the minute at some stage. It's all very settled, although there's a good battle there with Turley, Berry and Paul O'Brien. I think that is going through Campion Corner now and out towards turn 3. Eddie Peterson having a look down the inside, but Dave Maguire's been around many, many times. Very good at putting the car where you need to be. He's a hard man to get by, a bit like Gordon Callan back in the day. Very, very good at defensive driving, very experienced, and he is hard to pass. And he's definitely not going to make it easy today when it's championship decision time. Was that a little bit of help? Surely was from Eddie Peterson. Well, we'll leave that for one floor below me, but I don't think the back of the car just let go on its own there. If it was, though, Peterson's just let him. Has he got to let him back by? Interesting stuff. Possibly did. Okay, so they come out onto the main straight now, and it's as they were. I have a feeling Eddie Peterson did make contact and then eased off a little bit and let him go. Absolute gentleman. Michael Cullen's shaking his head here. His disapproval for being a gentleman as they go around Castrol Corner one more time. It's Parr, Maguire, Peterson, English, and Stephen Wright. So great stuff to say at Supercups. A lot of work being put into this class, and there have been a lot of new drivers coming into it. I think a lot of Fiesta ST drivers are eyeing it up. Roy White certainly has been looking at it lately. Oh yeah, Victor Cullen, of course, has got a car already, so I don't know if he's been out testing or not yet. No, not just yet, but that will happen, no doubt. So Victor Cullen will move up from Fiesta STs, possibly Roy White as well. We need a few Zetec drivers to look around at STs. Bit of value in Fiesta STs at the moment and a few cars for sale, so I'm sure that will happen over the winter. Waved yellows for some reason. Well, red flags are out. Red flags are out. The race has been stopped. Let me have a quick look around out the window. Oh, Marshall out on the grid. I don't see anything down at Castrol or Campion. Not sure why that is. Oh yeah, it looks like Turley, is it? It's a bit of green graphics there. It looks like the roof of Turley's car. Let's hope the rest of the car is there. I think is just stopped in the pit lane, or has he been off? Let's have a look. A little bit of smoke there, I'm told, as well. Okay, well the marshals are there. Very hard to see. So it's before pit lane entry, I think. It's certainly, even out the window here, it's out of our view, which is unusual commentary. But, well, look, from our point of view, it's going to give us more entertainment, isn't it? It'll back them all up. But certainly the man with the pace there was Paul Parr, and still the only man to go under at 1 minute with a 59 as round. There's a safety car out there already. Rescue unit as well. Okay, well, he's got that car rolling, and he's been chased by a load of rescue vehicles as he drives back in. Front headlight missing on the car, I can see from up here, so it doesn't look like there's anything too structural. And the Murray Motorsport boys are running down there as if their life depended on it, so they look like they think they can get that car back out. Turley's parked it at an angle as if it's going to go back into a garage. There's a good shot now, we can just see it there. Look at those guys running back down. Yeah, no, Sam Dolan has just had a chat with him there and shut the door pretty quickly. The wind really beginning to get up here. You could hear it round the commentary box. There's Dave O'Brien just walking through shot. Okay, well, it's going to be a couple of minutes because we'll have to regrid the Sayets and probably do a formation lap again. So we will actually take a quick commercial break while we're just getting everything back. And we'll be back racing here at the Infinite Energy ICCR in a couple of minutes' time.
The Blitz is more than just a logo to us. It represents who we are, It stands for the energy that flows into every single opal, and for our restless ambition to always go further, even if it means to break old patterns. By 2028, we will be fully electric. This is our focus, our energy, and we manifest it with a new, even more energetic Blitz. Like never before, it stands for who we are and where we go. Because it's much more than just a logo. It's our compass to head forward.
Hello, GSE.
Welcome to Mondello Park, more than just a racetrack.
We have conferencing facilities for up to 200 people.
We can provide a wide range of fresh, locally produced food, from soup and sandwiches all the way up to a full 5-course meal.
Test your team to work together in a series of racing challenges against the clock in our state-of-the-art driving simulators.
Or if you want to try the real thing, jump behind the wheel of one of our many supercars.
Test your team with our wide variety of non-driving team-building challenges. Or beat the clock in our exhilarating auto test challenge. Mondello Park, so much more than just a racetrack. We're back live and we're ready to go, and we're not sure what the problem is with that Turley car, but it is still sitting in the pit lane, and it does look like it will not take any more. Oh, they've all moved up to the grid this time. They're all right on their marks. Maybe they heard us. There's the car. That's a great shot. And that's the Murray Motorsport team working on it to try and get it going. But no joy so far, because we're getting ready to go. The revs are up on the grid. Away they go. This time Maguire gets a cracker from the outside of the front row. He moves across in front of Paul Power. We know he's got more power. And he has got the lead. Dave Maguire leads now in the Jerry Maguire car down into Castrol Corner for the first time. Paul O'Brien right round the outside there in the DOB Sports Cars car. And Peterson again into the back of Barry English, and off goes Barry English. And looked like Eddie Peterson possibly gave him a bit of help. I'm not so sure though. It's a long distance away. It's hard for me to know. Power's on the attack already. We know he's got pace, but a perfect start from Dave Maguire, and used his extra 20 horsepower, 30 horsepower to just power by power on the way down to turn one. Side by side. inside there. Oh, Adrian McNally and who's that? Is that somebody's gone backwards? Is that Harley Wright, is it? I think it might be. Sideways stuff from Parr. Cold rear tyres again. Danger, danger. Down into the S's, especially at that corner off camber. And the back will just get away from you there. You need to stand on the power, which is exactly what he did. Here comes Maguire now, late on the brakes, and Parr has to go into defensive mode. It's Paul O'Brien from way, way back. It's Paul O'Brien in the DOB Sports Cars car. He gets alongside Parr now, and he should have more power than Parr. That's difficult to say, isn't it? He blasts by with 340 brake horsepower, and O'Brien is up to second place. Well, that team has had a tough season. They will be absolutely delighted with this one. The DOB Sports Cars team. Dave O'Brien, the West Dublin-based Porsche specialist, runs these cars. That's his brother driving the car, ex-Irish touring car driver, Paul O'Brien, and he's way up there to second place. He started right back, and he's absolutely flying. That puts Parr back down to third place. Eddie Peterson, the wingless Eddie Peterson, back in fourth. Then is that Mark Turley? It is Mark Turley, legendary 1990s Irish touring car driver. Always great to watch. He's come up. He's up to fifth place last time they went by us. So a lot of big climbers here. Oh, the Turley car being pushed back into the Murray Motorsport garage. Don't think the second Turley car, that is. There it goes. Yeah, that's a shame. Now, I'm sure Murray Motorsport will get that running. O'Brien looks like he's on the attack here, doesn't he? In fact, that was the first time Maguire had to go defensive into Southside. And that slowed him and gets a run on the main straight, side by side. 27. O'Brien on the outside, Maguire on the inside. Maguire is not O'Brien is not a championship contender. He won't care. He gives Maguire the big squeeze, but Dave's not having any of that. It just says, no, I'll hang on here if you don't mind. Parr still there in third place, but he's got a deficit in terms of the ECU, of course, because he qualified on pole. Parr closes in on the brakes there now. O'Brien still there in second place, and Peterson holding and watching brief. Then he's Mark Turley just ahead of Brian Berry. Then Stephen Wright and Adrian McNally, the rally man, who's had flashes of real pace this year. Here they come, first four pretty much together now, coming down into the S's. But we said this in the first part of the race, Dave Maguire, expert at defending. But if he defends up here, and that's exactly what he's going to do, he goes defensive very early. Paul O'Brien knows exactly what he's got to do. He's got to try and come across the back of him. He doesn't this time. Goes to the outside. Maguire very defensive again. He'll burn the tyres off the car if he keeps that up. O'Brien with less lock on the way out and more power, and gets that run again. And once again they go by us side by side. Maguire on the inside again. O'Brien gives him the big squeeze just to let him know. Parr not quite close enough, but almost could have come down the inside there, but didn't. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is working out nicely for Dave O'Brien here. But Paul O'Brien from all the way back. Or Dave O'Brien, I'm saying Dave Maguire leading, I'm sorry, and Paul O'Brien in the Dave O'Brien run car in second place, and then it is Paul Parr, and then it's Eddie Peterson. Then it's Berry has got ahead of Turley next up. So Brian Berry now up to fifth place. Turley in sixth, Stephen Wright, Adrian McNally, Barry English, and we do not have Max Turley out on track. So these cars came into, it must be 10 years ago they came into Irish racing, and they were somewhere around €30,000, which is pretty good value when you look at the spec, but they're still that price. They seem to be depreciation proof, so not a bad place to put your money. You can imagine somebody trying to sell that idea to their family or business partner, but actually they've stayed the same price for a long, long time. The people that drive them absolutely love them. Left-hand drive, 2 pedals, paddle shift, proper factory-built touring cars. O'Brien locks up the rears, going down into Castrol. If he keeps doing that, surely Parr is going to nip down the inside. Surely. But I think Parr's got his mirrors full of Eddie Peterson there. First 4 absolutely together. How long have we got to go? Race for 2 restart. Oh, still 5.5 minutes to go. It's not over just yet. I do think Dave O'Brien might just overheat his front tyres before O'Brien does. Dave Maguire might, because he's uber defensive. Coming out of the S's, he's straight across to the right-hand side. Coming out of Southside onto the main straight, he's straight across to the pit wall. All the stuff you've got to do, but he's certainly very aggressive on his steering inputs. So let's see how that works out. Still 1, 2, 3, 4. Anybody catching them? Who's next up in fifth? It's Berry, and Berry is in the 59s. There's a few of them in the 59s. He did a personal best last time around, 59.6. Big lock up there for Mark Turley behind him. Oh, misses his apex. He'll be slow on the way out. It's the first time Dave Maguire's had a clean run down the main straight without anybody beside him. So he goes out to take a half racing line this time. So Maguire still leading for Paul O'Brien, Paul Parr and Eddie Peterson. Then a gap back to Brian Berry. Fastest lap is to Paul O'Brien in second place. He's done a 59 dead. That's 9 tenths quicker than the leader. 9 tenths around the national circuit. So Paul O'Brien obviously has got plenty of pace here, but then Dave Maguire is in defensive mode, isn't he? He's not trying to get fast laps. He's not leaving any gaps down the inside. Certainly not going out wide to take full racing lines anywhere, so he probably has got some more pace there if he needed to use it. I think Berry is catching this group, you know. In 5th place, certainly going to be quicker than them this time round. They're beginning to queue up just a little bit. Eddie Peterson dropping back. So yeah, Berry's on a big charge here. Look at him, the ex-Sean Woods racing driver, now racing with Murray Motorsport. A bit of a lock up there for Paul O'Brien, but does get into the apex and should get a run on the way out. But Maguire beginning to handle it well now. Gets a reasonable exit, and that'll do him. Doesn't need to defend too much on the main straight. 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5 now. Fastest lap still to Paul O'Brien. Let's see what Berry did that time round. 59.2. 59.8 for Dave Maguire, so 6/10 quicker than the leader was Berry that time round. That's the blue and yellow car. Just coming through Campion corner now, just about flat out in these Zetec. So no sign of any rain just yet. You can still hear a lot of wind here on the top of the tower. It's down to turn 3. A little bit of sunshine, which is nice. We can generate some power while we're racing as well here with the infinite energy solar panels. So 4 cars about to be 5, I suspect, shortly as they come back down towards. No real moves yet, but that's going to be it's going to be like that today. It's not the day for desperate moves. It's the day for calculating championship points. And I don't think desperation will come into it. May stand corrected on that one later on. Again, Maguire, centre of the road. Yeah, Dave Maguire seems to have got the handle on it, doesn't he? And Paul O'Brien doesn't have any more tricks really to have a go. Maguire not defending as heavily as he was, so won't be as hard on his tyres. 2 minutes 46 to go, a couple of laps still to run. Peterson beginning to look a bit racy now as he sees Berry closing in behind him. Yeah, Berry quicker than the whole lot of them that time round. 59.5, 59.9 for the leader, a minute 0.1 for O'Brien, 59.9 for Parr, and 59.8 for Peterson. It's irrelevant really, isn't it, because they're nose to tail now. Mark Turley is still next up, holding off McNally, that is, I think. First 2 have made a little bit of a break somehow now. So that might allow Paul O'Brien to be a little bit racier as they come up towards Southside. I think Dave Maguire can hear me, goes very defensive again. O'Brien moves across to make him go defensive, then goes high and wide to try and get a run. Got a bit of a run this time. I think he should get alongside again with that extra power. Doesn't quite manage it on this occasion. Look at the speed trap there. 153 for Maguire, 154 for Paul O'Brien. So he's slightly quicker, but not by much. 1 kilometre an hour is not going to let you get you alongside here at Mondello. And that 1 kilometre an hour is probably more due to a better exit or entry to Southside than anything else. But it's Maguire, O'Brien, Parr and Peterson now, with Berry having tacked onto the back of it. 5-car battle, this first race of the day for these guys. If Paul O'Brien can even stay there, he'd be really happy with this. They've had a really bad look this season, just no luck at all. But he's shown flashes of pace. They'd be delighted with this one, the DOB Sports Cars team. He's not finished just yet though, is he? Going to the outside of Maguire now, definitely full temperature in the back tyres now. You can be a bit braver there and go high and wide. That corner can drag you off into the gravel or make you go sideways, as we said before. It's off camber. Here they come back towards us again. Parr has got back up to them this time round though, despite his power deficiency. Oh, this looks like a slightly better run for O'Brien, but still doesn't get up alongside him. So 45 seconds to go. This, I would imagine, will be the final lap. As they go through Campion corner, up through the gears down out towards turn 3, the double apex corner. A little bit of a break and then back on the power, then hard on the brakes for the second bit. Fergus Brennan is preparing the checkered flag below us here. 26 seconds to go. Maguire, O'Brien, Parr and Peterson. Interesting race, but not a whole lot of door-to-door action. I don't think there'll be any lunges at the last corner. Famous last words. Once again, O'Brien with a better run, but it's not going to be enough. He pulls out earlier this time. Will he possibly get alongside? I don't think he will. And they cross the line together. And Dave Maguire drove well there, soaked up all the pressure, and we'll be totting up the championship points and see what happens. But that will put him certainly within reach of the championships, closing it up a bit. Good stuff. So Maguire, Paul O'Brien will be delighted with that one in the DOB Sports Cars car. The Porsche Specialist, and then Paul Parr. Great drive from Parr. It's got to be set to third place with only 310 brake horsepower. Now remember, for race 2, he gets his full power back. So Paul Parr with 30 extra brake horsepower. Get down to Ladbrokes or Paddy Power's there. Put a few quid on him for race 2. Then Peterson, Berry, Turley, Stephen Wright and Barry English. Adrian McNally down a place on the last lap. He'd been up there battling with Mark Turley early on, so I'm not sure what happened to him. And then Max Turley, we didn't see returning to that one, unfortunately. There's your official result with the brake horsepower, which is interesting to look at. So 320 brake horsepower for Dave Maguire with the win. He's going to be back up to 340 for race 2, will he? Then it's Paul O'Brien, Paul Parr, Eddie Peterson, Brian Berry, Mark Turley, the rallyman Stephen Wright, Barry English, Adrian McNally and Max Turley showing there, but he didn't actually return to the track at the restart. So the wind's still blowing, but we still got a little bit of sunshine. And next up, I think, will be the Zetec Safety Fiesta Zetec. There you can see the camera moving around there. That's how windy it is up here. So in just a few minutes' time, we'll have the Fiesta Zetec out on track. They'll be led out by Neil Murphy, of course, in the Zetec Safety Zetec van with the flashing lights on board. So track's still looking good. The lap times are good. They were all well under a minute there by the end of that one. So there we go. There's Neil Murphy, championship sponsor. He's the head man in Zetec Safety, the West Dublin-based branded clothing company and safety suppliers. So if you need anything from a hard hat to a motorsport branded t-shirt, Neil's the man to speak to. That's a car that the van that the championship management company gave him as a present earlier in the year, live on TV. He absolutely loves it. So he gets to lead them round for the formation lap. Looks absolutely fantastic. Fish Graphics, of course, branded it all up with Zetec Safety. High-speed deliveries written on the side of that van. And Neil very much involved in the class, not just as a commercial partner. He's become very friendly with a lot of the drivers and helps a lot of them out in ways that you don't see perhaps during the week. He's also very good at networking in the paddock as well. He's got a lot of business from people like Michael Barrable Motors, LOH Motorsport, POB. You can see a lot of his team wear and branded clothing around the paddock. So Zetec Safety. Safety Online is the website. If you want to have a look at safetyonline.ie, you can find them in the paddock at every single race meeting. Great sponsor of this Zetec class. The Zetec class, you haven't seen it before, is an incredibly popular budget class. It's been going for about 10 years here and goes from strength to strength. They're 1250cc Zetec engine cars, very, very reliable engine. You're allowed to skim the head and do very little else. They don't give much problems in terms of gearbox or drivetrain. They run a KYB spec to the same spec as a Ford spec shock absorber. They run a specific lowering spring and Nankang tyres, track day tyres, wet or dry, so pretty much the same thing for all weathers. And the standard of driving really, really high, really competitive. You got a couple of young chargers and a couple of massively experienced older guys in this one. It's been that way for the last few years. And it just is wonderful to watch. You can buy a car for maybe €3,000. The front running cars will be dearer than that, obviously same in any class, but you can get on the grid pretty cheaply and they're not dear cars to run. Also, you can do hill climbs, rally crosses, sprints, track days, anything you want in them. See a lot of these cars out at different championships. There's a rookie class as well, so we'll be keeping an eye on that one as they get going. There's Liv Corcoran heading out in the Corcoran crash repairs car, beautifully turned out as ever. You'll see them weaving around a little bit again because for the same reason as I say, they need to get heated to those back tyres. Now championship positions are very, very close, so it's the guys to watch: William Kellett, Sean McGovern, Dave Maguire, and then Peter Barable a little bit back but massive pace, so let's keep an eye on that one. Everybody, it seemed, was on pole position at one stage this morning as the track dried out, but William Kellett, when it counted on the final lap, banged one in. Well, they're all young drivers, those Maguire, Kellett and McGovern, but William Kellett probably more experienced than the other two, and he has won this championship before a couple of years back. If you want to say he comes from good stock, that's an understatement. His family team just wrapped up the UK Airtech Fiesta 240 championship. Incredible stuff from the whole family. Samantha, Alistair and the whole lot. Alistair driving the car, and he was just peerless at Silverstone last weekend. Great stuff to watch. So very busy week for the Kelletts, and they're looking to wrap up their second championship inside a week. Their second championship of this year. They've won many championships. Sean McGovern, similarly, his dad Rod is out in Strikers today. He's been champion in Seat Supercup and many other classes, racing since he started in 205 GTIs many years ago. And Dave Maguire Jr., of course, we've just seen his dad win the Seat race. And the Barrable dynasty from North Dublin, Peter Barrable's out there too. So William Kellett in the DMC consultancy car will start on pole position for Peter Barrable in the Airport Driving School and MB Motors car. Then it is Sean McGovern next up. And then alongside him is Dave Maguire Jr. Then it's Alan Dawson and the newbie Delta Airlines pilot Aidan Mulready going beautifully, car number 217. Then it is Jason O'Connell, former rookie champion, has won outright. Watch out for him. Mark O'Donoghue next up. That car beautifully relivered. He looks absolutely fantastic. And fair play to him for that. Sam Doyle, one of the quick rookies. He's the quickest rookie this time out. Unna Mulready would be the quickest. Then Sam Doyle. Kelsey Kirby been in the top 10 in almost every race, and she's in the top 10 in the championship. Watch out for her in the Chocolate Factory car. Then it's Ulick Burke, who changed the engine last night. Michael Graham from Northern Ireland. Cole McLaughlin, Philip Lawless, Keith Lenihan, Mark Daly, Toby Maguire, who's leading the rookie championship. Adam O'Mahony, Michael Moynihan, Alex McCann, John Rock, JR from Mondello Park, Liv Corcoran and Paul Toomey, and away they go. And Kellett makes a cracker of a start. Barrable can't quite match him, and it looks like it's going to be William Kellett now down into Castrol Corner for the first time. Great grid of these budget tin tops now, heading on down on the brakes into turn one, and Kellett gets it done. Oh, McGovern looking to come through with the elbows out. McGovern and Barrable door to door on the exit now. Barrable sits it out, but McGovern's not for lifting, and they're side by side through Campion Corner, named after the late John Campion. McGovern has hung on to it, has he? He has, yeah. Round the outside of Campion gives him the inside for this one, and it's double apex. Peter Barrable thinking about a run round the outside, but probably better off shutting the door for Maguire, who's coming up there too. Maguire late in the brakes and almost touches the back bumper, and Barrable could find himself back another place very easily. And it's Dawson, O'Donoghue and all the rest. Keith Lenihan Motors car coming up there too. Keith Lenihan's car. He was on a very interesting podcast recently about the motor trade. Keith Lenihan runs his own garage and prepares that car superbly as they come through the S's. And O'Donoghue's got ahead of Mulready. Then it's Jason O'Connell next. Oh, and it's a little bit of contact with Barrable and Maguire on the exit of the S's there. So great stuff, but championship points being added up here. But certainly Dave Maguire wants to get up there. So here they come out onto the main straight, and it's Kellett, McGovern, Barrable, Maguire, Dawson. Then it's O'Donoghue and Mulready side by side. I thought O'Donoghue had the run, but Mulready's just out dragging him there on the main straight, I think, and a little bit of help from somebody else there. That's Mark O'Donoghue, I think. No, it's not Mark O'Donoghue. It's Jason O'Connell and Sam Doyle. So leading the rookies is Mulready, Sam Doyle second, and Mark Daly third. Now, Mark Daly needs to stay ahead of Toby Maguire to keep his rookie championship hopes alive. But for the main championship, it's Kellett who's leading, it's Sean McGovern who's second, and it's Maguire who's in fourth place. Barrable really a little bit of a distant chance of winning the championship. So he's got to hope they all fall over each other. Not beyond the realms of possibility, I suppose, in tin top racing. Sam Doyle going nicely, looking to very sniff down the inside of Jason O'Connell there, doesn't quite make it. Ulick Burke there in the patch tire equipment car right out to the outside. He was up all night changing the engine on that one, so it's a top six together now, isn't it, or 5-6 cars together as William Kellett comes down. He's not going to break away, so Sean McGovern is right with him, and McGovern has had some innovative manoeuvres this year to get by people, so I don't think this will stay as it is just for long. There's one down the inside. It's a big lunge from William Kellett. Saw it coming a little bit late, but just went in late in the brakes, sat around the outside. See, Kellett's clever. He's happy to unwind the lock and not over defend, let the car run out wide, and that's crucial with these cars. Barrable's got down the inside. McGovern's shown on the barrier on the main straight. No way will Peter Barrable back out of that one, and he might move up to second place here. He will with a little help from Maguire. It's NASCAR stuff heading down towards race one. McGovern's boxed out, and there's Maguire just running McGovern out to the outside. Gave him a little bit of tarmac, but not too much. Now McGovern finds himself back to fourth place, having challenged it for the lead 2 corners earlier. So Kellett is probably looking at all this in the mirror, maybe even giving a little bit of a smile, although it's a bit early to smile. There's 12 minutes still to go. So Barrable second now, Maguire up to third place, McGovern back to fourth place, then it's Dawson, then a gap back to Jason O'Connell, Mulready, Donoghue, Sam Doyle, Ulick Burke, Who else? Is that Phil Lawless? It is, from way back. Phil Lawless in his newly acquired car up to 11th place there. Kelsey Kirby 12th. Unusual. Kelsey's not inside the top 10. She'll be looking to make a few moves, but the leaders are absolutely glued together now as they come through the second bit of the S's Nordic Spirit corner. William Kellett doesn't really have to defend. Look at that, he's calm and composed, isn't he? I say it, he does have to defend because everybody has to go up the inside. That's Maguire trying to get up the inside of Barrable's Airport motoring school car, but doesn't quite do it on this occasion. They'll be desperate to get at Kellett, and it's not working out for them at the moment. Peter Barrable staying there in second place. He is a championship contender. He's a little bit back from them in fourth place, but as he said to me today, if it goes wrong for them all, he can still win the championship. And Peter Barrable, the clue is in the surname. He's pretty good at winning championships as they head down towards Castrol Corner again. Great stuff from the Zetec Safety Zetec Championship through Campion Corner. Absolutely flattened these cars. They grabbed third just before the apex and then keep it pinned all the way down to turn 3. First 6 together still. Rookies, Aidan Mulready still leads. Sam Doyle getting closer to him. Then Mark Daly, Toby Maguire and Adam O'Mahony. That's your order. And then Michael Moynihan, Alex McCann and Liv Corker. That's all your rookies. Up front it's Kellett, Barrable, Maguire, McGovern and Dawson. Sam Doyle running a little bit wide. There's Michael Graham, Northern Ireland Zetec Championship, having a go. He's been very quick down here. Didn't qualify as far as we thought he would, but he's making a few moves now. He's third, just outside the top 10, behind Kelsey Kirby there. But they will be looking to try and get some moves done. Certainly up front, Kellett looking quite composed. As composed as you can be when you've got these guys behind you having a real go. Now Dawson has a look up around the outside of McGovern. Kellett just clipping that outside curb, getting back in. Look at his head tilted upwards. He's just glued to the mirror. You'd have to be looking Barrable out, back in, out and back in again, weaving around. You want to be really confident before you come out of that single file group, because as McGovern found out, you could just get boxed out and left out there and drop 2 places, no problem. McGovern was challenging for the lead and now is back there, as we said, in 4th place. In fact, Dawson had the nose ahead when they went across the line. McGovern has got it back on the brakes down into Castrol Corner though. 9 minutes 41 to go. Oh, this camera's really getting blown around out there. It really is rough. It might be sunny, but it's very, very windy here at Mondello Park. If it gets any windier on the main street, these guys won't be able to pull 3rd gear. It's really, really, I haven't seen wind like this for a while. You can't really get it across the telly, but I can hear it whistling around the tower here. The See It Live guys are saying they're getting seasick in the truck down there. It's beginning to get blown from left to right, but everything's still going nicely at Mondello Park. We're still running, and we're still live streaming with the Beacon Hospital. So it's Kellett, Barrable, Maguire, Dawson, McGovern, Dawson actually. That Dawson had the nose ahead when they went by last time. And again, look at that. Kellett goes to defend. He was about to go back out. Barrable again, weaving all over the place, trying to get a chink in the armour. And they all trying to get up the inside, and it's McGovern who's possibly got up the inside of Maguire this time. He has, and there'll be ramifications for that one. Dawson tries to get a run of both of them. On the outside, yeah, McGovern has got that place back. It's for your breast on the braking for 3rd place. It's McGovern up to 3rd. Maguire down to 4th. Dawson now beginning to mix it with the championship contenders as they head for Campion Corner one more time. Nobody really bothering Kellett. He's well able to contain this one, isn't he? We did say he's always been very composed, and he has won a championship before, which the others haven't done. That will give you the extra confidence. And of course the Kellets that know exactly what they have to do to win championships. Just won a major UK championship. That's his dad, Alistair. Barrable locking a rear wheel there. That's Mulready has just come up to them now. In fact, it's O'Connell and Mulready. And fastest lap is to Jason O'Connell. It's a former rookie champion, I should say. He's in 6th place. There it is on the screen. Jason O'Connell at 1:11.973. 12.3 for the leader, but the leader is busy defending. He's not going to be putting in any quick lap times. So here they come towards us again. Kellett on the outside. McGovern really trying to get by now, beginning to pounce around behind Barrable. And look at this, Maguire trying to reciprocate what happened to him, and I think he's done it, you know. No, he hasn't quite. McGovern just gets the door shut. They're all line astern now on the main straight. Great racing from these Zetec Fiestas. If you think they're not competitive, think again. Great saloon car racing. Maguire with a big lunge down the outside, beginning to get a little bit, I wouldn't say desperate, but certainly they're all looking for the move now. Maguire had it in his pocket, and McGovern just got up the inside of him on the way out of Southside and got the job done. Classic Mondello Park manoeuvre. Good battle out of shock between John Rock and Liv Corcoran, but this is where it's all happening in this one. Kellett, Barrable, McGovern, Maguire, Dawson. 7 minutes still to run on this one. It's only the halfway mark, really. Can't relax just yet. There's Sam Doyle, Phil Lawless, Ulick Burke, Michael Graham. So O'Donoghue's fallen well back. Mark O'Donoghue, so must have had a quick spin or something, and round the outside goes Maguire. Out of the S's, takes a little bit of grass, almost got it done, but not quite. And now has to go defensive on the way up the hill because Dawson has a go. But here comes O'Donoghue. Is it down the outside? Not O'Donoghue, it's O'Connell down the outside of Dawson. Way later on the break, sits around the outside. She might be able to get the job done here. Side by side. So it's now Kellett, Barrable, McGovern, Maguire, Jason O'Connell, no, Alan Dawson just ahead, then Jason O'Connell, Aidan Mulready and Sam Doyle. Sam Doyle's a little bit back, but the 1-2 and the rookies are now in 7th and 9th. Phil Lawless in between them because Lawless just got the nose ahead of Sam Doyle across the line there. Mulready there, the blue and white car at the back of this group. This is only his, is it his second Mondello meeting? I think it is his second or third Mondello meeting, and he went to Kyrgyzstan to do a race to practice and managed to win that. He's Irish and he lives in America and he works for Delta Airlines, so was clearly well able to drive. He's a pilot for Delta Airlines and absolutely loving it here at Mondello Park. He drove very well the first time out. It's one of the Blackchurch cars, I think. So it's still Kellett, Barrable, McGovern, Maguire, then Dawson, Jason O'Connell and Aidan Mulready. Barrable locking the back brakes again on the approach. Look at Maguire, he's starting to look around the outside, starting to look everywhere. Try and get by McGovern, it's crucial. Oh, good run round the outside of Maguire, that was good stuff. He managed to sit around the outside. He got a better exit, he's ahead now as they go down the straight. McGovern coming back at him though. He was clearly ahead earlier on. Nothing in it. I don't think that's going to work, is it? Unless you can sit around. Oh, a little bit of a kiss from McGovern there. You can stay out there, and that allows Dawson down the inside. Dawson giving him just a Fiesta's width, and he's fighting back now at Campion Corner. Dawson's still there on the outside on the exit though. But I think Maguire should be able to get away. No, Dawson comes back at him into turn 3. So very much getting mixed up with the championship contenders. O'Connell into the side of Maguire. Around goes Maguire there. That will probably dash his championship hopes. Surely he can get going again in the LOH Motorsport car. But yeah, Dawson wrong-footed him there on the way out. Nothing wrong with that. And you can race away, but then he was just trying to get back onto the racing line. Got caught by the car behind. Is he back running? Just having a look out the window here. I think he is on the outside of that group with Kelsey Kirby and O'Donoghue coming down into the S's, but he'll be way, way back. And the championship points go 20, 17, 14, then 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, etc. Well, he's already got a place back. I can see him out the window here, so he's got a lot of work to do in 4 minutes. So the order's changed slightly now. It's looking good for Kellett and McGovern now, with Maguire having got back there, but Barrable's definitely not going to back out of him. Oh, Barrable gets a run, and Kellett, but no way was he letting him by there. They almost went down Rallycross 1. They were so far over to the right-hand side of the circuit. McGovern closing the boat down. Then Dawson. So it's Kellett, Barrable, McGovern, Dawson, O'Connell, Mulready, Burke, Lawless, Sam Doyle as they go through, and the rookies 1, 2 and 3, Mulready, Sam Doyle and Toby Maguire. Toby Maguire's just got ahead of Mark Daly. They're battling for the rookie championship. They're down in 15th and 16th. So Toby Maguire coming from well back, the junior rallycross champion. Very quick driver. Mark Daly's gone superbly this year in the Martini lookalike livery car. And he's the only one I think that can beat Toby Maguire to that rookie championship. We'll keep an eye on those points as well later on as they come back down towards us again. Here's Ulick Burke, Phil Lawless, Sam Doyle coming towards us, Michael Graham, and that you just saw a flash of Dave Maguire in that group. There's Mark Daly, just spoke about. Here come the leaders again with 3 minutes to go. Barrable again, just a hint of a look down the inside. Kellett comes out very cleanly, using all the curb on the exit. Doesn't scrub off too much speed. Again, look at him, chin up. He's looking in the mirror all the time just to see what Barrable's next move is. Barrable definitely getting a run at him from the start-finish line onwards, but doesn't want to go to the outside. He goes to the outside now because McGovern has already done so. So there's no chance of McGovern sticking the nose up the inside. So Barrable having to look forward and backwards in this one. But Kellett looking very, very composed with 2.5 minutes to go. Let's have a look and see how far down Dave Maguire went. He went to 12th, but he's back up to 10th already. Here they come through the first apex. All on the inside line there. Nobody going high and wide to get the run up the hill. It's O'Connell and Mulready having dropped back just a little bit again. Kellett, Barrable, McGovern and Dawson, the top 4. 2 minutes to go. Apologies for the camera being rocked around just a little bit, but there's nothing we can do. They're as securely fastened as they can be. There's a run from McGovern. He's got up the inside, but Barrable just manages to rebuff it some way, and he has to go defensive now for Dawson on the way up the hill. Kellett again, no problems from him. Made a great start, stuck it on pole, made no mistakes. 1 minute 41 to go, so going on to the penultimate lap, I'd imagine now. 99 William Kellett from Kells in the DMC consultancy car. And Kellett Motors, of course, in Kells. Maguire still battling there. Here, let's see where he is now. He's 9th. He's coming up well. He was bound to 12th place, up to 9th. He's showing fastest lap as well at 1:11.7. But he won't be happy when he comes back in, no doubt. Kellett, Barrable, McGovern now. They've made a break. Dawson has dropped back just by a few lengths. Dennis O'Connell and Mulready. Good stuff from Mulready. He's going to be quickest rookie. He'll take the rookie win in this one, all going well. That's Ulick Burke leading this group. From Lawless, Sam Doyle. There's Maguire in the middle of it. Michael Graham. O'Donoghue, Kelsey Kirby, Keith Lenihan. Toby Maguire going through in the red car. Oh, look at this now. McGovern beginning to attack Barrable. Oh, this is the first time Kellett has taken a full racing line there and flicked the car in. He'd be loving this one, trying to get the head down and get away. This will be a slightly quicker lap. He did a 12.2 last time round. Let's see if he's any quicker this time round. That last corner should surely help him a bit. No, 12.5. He must have been defending heavily earlier. And look at him now, right out to the outside, like a qualifying lap. See you later, boys. You can scrap away. William Kellett's going to drop the hammer now on this, the final lap, as he comes out of Castrol Corner. Look at the lead just growing through Campion Corner now. Looking good for William Kellett in this one. Then it's Barrable and McGovern and Dawson. But William Kellett beginning to ease away. Looking at the straight line speed there as they go by. They're all very, very similar class, very heavily policed, of course, from a technical point of view. Final lap now for Kellett. So Kellett, Maguire, McGovern and Dawson still together, but Kellett having made that break on the last lap. In fact, they're all staying away from each other. We'll surely see a little bit of headlamp flashing and weaving. He's famous for it, William Kellett, when he takes a win here at Montello Park. He's out of the final corner. That's a fantastic drive from young Kellett from pole position. It's got to be said. Massive pressure. Never even looked pressurized. The fist is raised there from his team, and he takes the win. He's saving the weaving and the headlight flashing for race 2 later on, perhaps. That's great stuff from Kellett. Barrable second, McGovern third, then Dawson fourth, and kicking up dust. This is Maguire on the right-hand side of your screen, coming down now on a massive recovery drive. Where's he going to end up? He ends up 9th, Dave Maguire. So it's first rookie is Aidan Mulready, second rookie Sam Doyle, and third rookie is Toby Maguire if he goes across the line, which he does now. Then Mark Daly goes through. Cole McLaughlin, Adam O'Mahony, beautiful turned out car there. Then Michael Moynihan in just, I think, his second race meeting perhaps. Then it's Alex McCann. Here he comes across the line. And it's going to be a race to the line for Liv Corcoran and John Rock, JR, who normally drives the teleporter here at Mondello Park, and he's jumped out of it for a while to have a go in the team building car. Mondello bought this car for the operations and mechanics that work here, and they all work on it late at night and then decide who's going to race it. So they'll be doing the 6 hour on that, Charlie. Here he is, JR, making his race debut, but I think Liv Corcoran, the Wicklow lady, is just going to pip him to the line in the rookies. She does, 56 just ahead of 71 there, but they'll renew that battle in race 2 later on in the Zetec Safety Fiesta Zetec Championship. Now remember, the top 6, see the top 6 there? They're reversed for the next race for the grid. So Mulready will start the next race on pole position with Jason O'Connell alongside him. Dawson and McGovern will be row 2. Barrable and Kellett will be row 3. But look down there, 9th is the man you need to watch, Dave Maguire. He will start the next race 9th with loads of work to do. But we saw him charging back up there. Perhaps he can do it again. So great stuff in Fiesta Zetec. There's Michael Graham, Northern Ireland man. Mark O'Donoghue, Kelsey Kirby, Keith Lenihan, Toby Maguire ahead of Mark Daly. Crucially, he's one step closer to that rookie title. Then Cole McLaughlin, Adam O'Mahony, Michael Moynihan and Adam McCann as all the cars come back into Parc Ferme. So biggest grid of the day again, these Fiesta Zetecs. The biggest grid of the day at every ICCR race meeting this year. There's Liv Corcoran and John Rock. They had their own private battle there. It's very close in lap times too. John Rock slightly quicker there towards the end. So it looks perfect on telly, doesn't it? If you're sitting at home, it's not quite as comfortable here in commentary now. The wind blowing heavily. And no rain or anything coming just yet. There's a good shot of it happening. The big trees are getting a bit of a blowing. And Fiesta STs now, the Alloy Repair Centre cars have been released already from assembly. That everybody on working hard today to ensure that we don't have any delays and we keep running as long as we can. Here they go now. It's young Jack Conaghy in his second Fiesta ST race. He's starting this race from pole position. Very impressive stuff in a drying track this morning. So Jack Conaghy will be on pole. Michael Cullen alongside. Then it's Ross Barnes, and the championship really between Ross Barnes, who starts third, and Victor Cullen, who's well back. Charlie McKillen, great qualifying from him as well. The two rookies on the first two rows, great to see it. Tim McQuaid, who was on pole for much of the session in row 3, and Victor Cullen alongside him, a championship contender. Then it's Brendan Fitzgerald, Darragh McMullen, Derek Graham, Trevor Farrar, Gordon Kellett, John Elliff, Roy White, Chris Jones, Wayne Laverick, Marcus Hayes, Christopher Grimes Sr. and Gary Lynch. So let's have a look at the championship points here, because it is championship deciding time for the Alloy Repair Centre championship as well. There you go now. Ross Barnes on 122, Victor Cullen on 111, Michael Cullen still on 100 points, but I think Michael is dropped out of it because he had 2 non-finishes the last time. Roy White, always a quick guy, especially if it rains. He's 4th with 100 points, the same as Michael Cullen. So he'll be looking to get ahead of Michael Cullen in this one, try and clinch that. Tim McQuaid's gone very well. He's had a win this year, and he's pretty much a rookie. Brendan Fitzgerald next up. Then it's Darragh McMullen. So as we said, Fiesta ST is now on their warm-up lap, coming towards us. That's Jack Conaghy, just his second Fiesta ST race. Done a bit of Kirkustown mini racing and some future classic racing here in the slower class, the future classics class in a Mini Cooper. But he's bought this car from Richard Carney, ex-Alan Healy car. He's gone really well, and it went moved up as far as 7th place the last time before. I think he went off or was helped off possibly last time out. He had a little bit of damage to fix on the car. They got that fixed, himself and his dad Noel. And he's been absolutely flying this morning. Just a late stages of qualifying. That's his dad just giving him the thumbs up that he's right on the marks there. They're carrying SWR for Sean Woods Racing, and Siobhan Woods is tuned in as she always is. Big hello to the Woods family. Still missing Sean very much here at Mondello Park, but remembered by, of course, Mickey O'Brien and the Conaghys and people like that. And you can just see SWR on the bonnet of this car now. Michael Cullen, massively experienced on the outside, the front row of the Beacon Health Check car. And then watch out for Ross Barnes, championship contender. Ross probably needs to be careful. He just needs to stay ahead of Victor Cullen, really, doesn't he? We'll have a look at that as well as the race goes on and before race 2 once again. Should be getting ready to go. The red lights are on. They're out and away they go. And Cullen with a slightly better start. A lot of wheel spin for both of them. McKillen gets dropped from the outside of row 2. He falls back. Great grid of these cars. And it is indeed Michael Cullen now heading down towards turn 1. Conaghy in second place. Somebody off Marcus Hayes there. It comes together with, is that Roy White? I think it was. It comes together with him again and into Chris Jones and sends both of them into the gravel. I can smell a red flag from here as they go through Campion Corner for the first time. It's Cullen, it's Conaghy. Conaghy might get another run off the line, you know. Oh, look at this. McKillen up to 3rd place. He didn't make a great initial start. He's quick, isn't he, through the first bit of turn 3. And that's McMullen down the outside of Ross Barnes. And Victor Cullen has gone up to Ross Barnes already for the championship in this one. They're coming back towards us. I don't see red flags. I do see red flags. That was a good recipe for a good race there, but not happening just yet. That's such a shame because certainly Charlie McKillen there from the outside of row 2. It didn't make an initial good launch, but I'm not sure what he did down at turn 1 and looked very, very racy. Oh, a little bit of contact. Somebody off on the outside. McQuaid, they didn't see the red flag. A few of them came round a full chat round into Nordic Spirit Corner. Nobody badly damaged, I don't think, but Tim McQuaid got a bit of a roller coaster ride up the outside on the grass. So I think they're all okay. Might need a change of underpants, but that'll be about it. As they come back down towards us, red flags being waved. They'll regrid. I think those cars should be moved relatively. I always say things like that as if it's easy, but it never is it? They might be able to move them quickly. I don't think there's big damage. Maybe able to get them back going again. Although there may have been a track rod issue or something with one of the cars. Yeah, I'm hearing back that 88 has got deranged front suspension or misaligned front suspension. I'm not sure what the correct terminology is. We can see it down there, yeah. There's a lot of lock on one of those cars. That's the Marcus Hayes, the John Hayes cars livery machine, the LOH Motorsport car. And unfortunate for Chris Jones and the Jones Investments car, because he was just caught up in that one. I think, in fact, Marcus might have been a passenger there and might have lost the steering in the first initial impact. There was a territorial dispute coming down just beyond the bridge, and he was spun around with the rescue units down there and all the right people. They should be able to extract those cars pretty quickly. And one of them might need a lift, but let's have a look. We'll have let's have a look at this. Let's just wind it back and have a look at a See It Live replay of that incident. We'll watch what happens, because we were all watching the front. Watch the middle of the grid there on the left hand. Oh yeah, it starts on the right hand side. Might even watch that one again. He was he moving across? It just looks like a territorial dispute, even before the braking area. Perhaps somebody coming across, catching the back end. And once the back end, he was caught. Marcus Hayes, just a passenger there. I don't think he had any steering, and nothing you could do about that. Now there isn't heavy damage. Will I say that now? But I don't think they normally have that much camber. Look at that, the outside. So yeah, let's go back and have another look, starting a bit earlier. Okay, so I might even slow it down a bit. This is great. Let's watch them coming towards us now. We're looking in the center of the grid and back a little bit, because Hayes is on the right at this stage. There he is. Yeah, he makes contact with that white car, which is, let's see who it is as they come back towards us. I'm going to keep watching him. He spun across to the left. It's this white car here, so it's Chris Jones. The irony. Straight back into him. Remember me from 10 seconds ago? It is Chris Jones, dear oh dear. I'm not suggesting it was anybody's fault. The cars all crisscrossed when they're heading off the line, but it was actually Chris Jones that they landed back together. I shouldn't laugh, it's just the irony of the situation I'm looking at, but that's a shame. I wonder we'll get those cars out definitely for race 2, but I don't think we'll see them out for this one. So yeah, they're just going to remove those cars now with the teleporter. It's the easiest way of doing it. Might look a little bit agricultural, but they're absolute experts at this, and they don't damage the cars at all. They'll have them back inside Parc Fermé very shortly, and we'll be able to go racing again. And the Sean Woods racing car of young Conaghy will get another chance off the start finish, and his dad is looking very excited down there in the pit lane. And Sean will be laughing at this, because Jack looks remarkably cool, but his dad is very excited, and why wouldn't he be? With his young fellow in pole position for a Fiesta ST race. It's a very competitive class, a lot of big names here, and just his second time out in these Fiesta STs. All right, it's probably going to take a few minutes to get those cars back. It's not exactly exciting watching, so we'll have a quick word from our commercial partners while we're waiting for the cars to get taken back in.
Opel, a proud sponsor of Irish rugby. Drive on.
Der Opel Astra Electric. Hello, GSE.
We're back and we're ready to restart this Fiesta ST race. The Alloy Repair Centre are the commercial partner of the Fiesta STs, and they're based in Ballymount, Cookstown Industrial Estate, just off the Belgard Road in Dublin, and they've come on board. Owen Cullen and his team have come on board as title sponsor. They also sponsor Ross Barnes, who's on the cusp of winning this championship, so they'd be delighted with this one. Owen, I don't know if he's on holidays or if he's here today. I think he's coming down today, but the last time he was on a yacht in Spain or somewhere when he was messaging us that he was watching the racing here. But he's been a great commercial partner all year, and delighted to say he's going to stay on for another year because this class is getting stronger and stronger, and a few more cars have been sold. And in fact, Mondello Park have purchased the car, so plans will be announced for that. It might be a prize drive for one of the smaller classes, but that car will be added to the grid again next year. It's 160 odd horsepower in these cars, very, very quick. Green flags are waved. This is not the race, it's a warm-up lap. So Jack Conaghy leads them away. McKillen sprinting down the outside. I'm not sure if he thought that was the race or not. I think he did, briefly. We've all done that. But he's slowed right down now. Went way ahead of the pole man there. So Jack Conaghy will on pole with Michael Cullen alongside. We're getting ready to go. The Alloy Repair Centre Fiesta STs, championship deciding time. 2 races today at Mondello Park. 12 minutes we're going to go for in this one. And Cullen got the jump the last time, and the car is angled toward the inside, and he gets it again. It's a worse start this time for Jack Conaghy. Will he hang on to second? He might not, because Ross Barnes has got a run on him now from row 3. He just lit the fronts up, and I think he might be swamped. Look at McKillen on the outside now, and he's late on the brakes. The 2 rookies neck and neck for second place in this one. How are they ahead of all the experienced drivers? Great stuff from them, but Conaghy might hang on to second place. He does. Good stuff. McKillen in third place. Then I think it's Ross Barnes. You can hardly see. The wind is howling around the commentary box here, and the camera's taking a little bit of a beating out on the run out to turn 3. So we did say that. Apologies for this. Very little we can do. It's very, very rough weather. It might not look it, but it is. It's Cullen, Conaghy, McKillen, Barnes. Victor Cullen is up to 4th place. Sorry, up to 5th place, but that's where he needs to be. He needs to get up to Ross Barnes. He's got McMullen, McQuaid behind him and all the rest. But Michael Cullen leading this one. Leading it well early on as they go through Nordic Spirit Corner. He'll have one eye on the mirrors to see where Victor is. Victor's made a good start. Didn't qualify well. McKillen has a look down. Conaghy's inside, but Conaghy just manages to fight him off. Doesn't get to the apex. They'll both be a little bit slow out as a result. That should allow Barnes up to them. It does. Barnes now right at the back bumper. So the 2 rookies there. Conaghy in second place. Oh, Victor Cullen looks like he's going to lose a place to McMullen now on the straight. He doesn't need that. He can see Barnes in front. Barnes having a look down the inside, but it doesn't come off on that occasion. Speed trap figures, just looking at them there. Wayne Laverick fastest through the speed trap by a considerable margin, 133 kilometers an hour. The leader on 127. The rest of them on 120, somebody on 128.1. Charlie McKillen. It's only the first lap, though. We'll keep an eye on that one as they come up out of turn 3. Christopher Grimes Sr. going through there. So it is Michael Cullen, Jack Conaghy, Charlie McKillen, Ross Barnes. Then it's McMullen, Victor Cullen, Tim McQuaid. So looking good at this stage for Ross Barnes. He's in 4th place. He will want to move forward a little bit, but he doesn't need to. He needs to stay ahead of Victor, really, is what he's got to do. He's doing that. McMullen is between them both now at this stage. Derek Graham on a move. He's got by Tim McQuaid. He's gone around the outside of Victor Cullen. The red car in your picture now is 2nd ever ST race, but he's a former champion in Fiat down here. Very, very quick driver. He's a Kyrgyzstan Zetec champion as well. Victor Cullen falling back just a little bit. Tim McQuaid is his teammate there, probably not being too hard on him. Brendan Fitzgerald trying to get in there too. Farrar, Elif and all the rest. It's Cullen, Conaghy, McKillen, Barnes, McMullen, Victor Cullen, and Derek Graham is the man on the move now up to 7th place. There he goes. The red car right in the centre of your picture. Farrar now having to go for Fitzgerald and Elif in the newly built car, right with them two. Those two, I should say. Conaghy closing down Michael Cullen just a little bit. Could be on for fastest lap here. He's got fastest sector. Cullen has fastest lap currently with a 7.1, but certainly I think Conaghy a little bit closer as they go by this time. Yeah, fastest lap 7.1. Cullen also on a 7.1. McKillen under pressure now from Ross Barnes. And Victor Cullen, nothing he can do about Derek Graham. Let's see Derek Graham 7.4, including a couple of overtaking manoeuvres. I think Derek Graham might be the man with the pace here. He's got a lot of work to do. He's going to get up near the front though, but he has got by Victor Cullen and Tim McQuaid inside 1 lap, as we said. So I wonder what Michael Cullen's up to here. He's out front, but he'll be looking to see what anything he can do to help Victor. I don't think so at this stage. Victor's now got a couple of cars between him and Ross Barnes. So it's Cullen, Conaghy, McKillen, Barnes, McMullen, Graham, Victor Cullen now in 7th, Tim McQuaid, Brendan Fitzgerald and Trevor Farrar rounding out the top 10. Cullen there a little bit defensive as they head towards Southside Motor Factory's corner. First 2 still together as they come out onto the main straight now. Derek Graham fastest lap. I did think that was going to happen. 107.140. Who's next on his list? McMullen is going to be next up. There's the fastest lap. 107.140. Derek Graham, purple times. He's closing down in front of him. He's 3/10 quicker than Darragh McMullen. We should be with him before the end of this lap. Conaghy again, closing down Cullen on the brakes. The second apex of turn 3. McKillen also driving beautifully there in third place. Charlie McKillen, raw rookie in this class. Really is a day for the rookies, isn't it? With Conaghy and McKillen second and third respectively. Derek Graham now right on the tail of and a last minute lunge down the inside. There he goes, Derek Graham, perfectly timed, and just puts away McMullen and gets a run at Barnes too on the way out. Absolutely on fire is Derek Graham here. That was a superb move. Waited at the very last minute and fired it down the inside, and he gets by Barnes now on the straight. Barnes is definitely not going to compromise himself. It's not a championship contender, but Derek Graham absolutely flying in the red car. Home built himself and his dad Aubrey. Fastest lap again, including that move. 1 minute 7.135. Keep an eye on Derek Graham. He's up to 4th place from 8th. 9th on the grid, 8th in the early laps. He's absolutely flying. Fastest lap now and up to 4th place, and he's closing down Charlie McKillen for 30. Could end up on the podium from so far back. It's impressive stuff. Victor just has one car now between himself and Ross Barnes, but just not showing the pace just yet. At 107.4 for Victor is his fastest, 107.4 also for Barnes. So if he can get any closer, just one car between them as we said, but Barnes is the man with one hand on the championship at the moment. Conaghy thinking about a lunge there down the inside of Cullen. Doesn't happen on this occasion. Michael Cullen, Jack Conaghy together. Look at this, Derek Graham trying to get the overlap but doesn't quite do it on McKillen. Nothing in it in a straight line as they go by. Got by, set up to 3rd place now, so absolutely flying. Come back towards us again. Derek Graham fast lap again. That's 3 laps in a row. 107.070. He could get up to these guys in front. You know, we've still got 4 minutes to run. So it's Michael Cullen, Jack Conaghy, and the flying Derek Graham. There he is in 3rd place now. Nobody between him and the first 2. Victor Cullen slightly closer to the car in front. Should be safe behind. That's his teammate Tim McQuaid, Yellow H Motorsport teammate. Cullen comes out of Nordic Spirit corner, a little bit further away this time from Jack Conaghy. In fact, they're not being cut as much as I would have thought, and McKillen is hanging on to Derek Graham, so I wonder if Derek Graham has seen the best of his tyres as he came charging up through the grid. Watch the lap times as they go through this time. That's definitely a quicker lap for Cullen. 7.3 for Cullen, 7.3 for Conaghy. Yeah, 7.4 for Derek Graham. Ross Barnes does a personal best, 7.4. Victor gone out to 108.1. So yeah, Victor dropping back. In fact, by Tim McQuaid's got by Victor on that one now, so it's back another place. So the championship looking good for Ross Barnes at this early stage. We've got another race still to go, of course. Won't be clinched just yet, but it's Cullen, Conaghy, Graham, McKillen, Barnes, Darragh McMullen, Victor Cullen, Tim McQuaid, Trevor Farrar and Brendan Fitzgerald. That's your top 10 in the Alloy Repair Centre Fiesta ST Championship Race 1. stalemate up front. Derek Graham perhaps a little bit closer and a few tenths further ahead of McKillen that time round. We'll watch the clocks when they go by. Michael Cullen, 2 gearbox issues last time out, no problems today in the LOH Motorsport car, increasing his lead a little bit at 7-2. Moves away by a tenth, got about to 0.8 to Jack Conaghy in second, Derek Graham in third, Charlie McKillen still fourth. Charlie McKillen though with Ross Barnes, who turns in very early down into Castrol Corner, closing him down just a little bit. Somebody with a personal best, Victor Cullen. No, it's Tim McQuaid, 7-3. Once he's got ahead of Victor Cullen, he's going a bit quicker. Lapping on the pace of the leader. So Michael Cullen definitely beginning to ease away just a little bit from Conaghy now. Graham in third place, not quite getting to the apex there. That's always a sign that the front tyres are beyond their best, and that's probably from that incredible early charge that he had. But Derek Graham doesn't miss apexes, so I would suspect his front 2 Nankangs are a little bit hotter than they were when they started the race. Roy White there, unusual to see Roy so far back. He was on pole briefly halfway through the session when it was still wet this morning, and if it rains later on today, he'll be definitely one to watch. Certainly struggling a little bit in terms of his lofty standards. Man with a massive motorsport heritage, of course, coming from rallying. McKillen in fourth place, but now definitely under a bit more pressure as we see Cullen going through and Conaghy. Well, Derek Graham 7th now, still just on lapping on the same place as them, so nobody making any moves just yet. They're down into turn 1, Castrol Corner. It's all a little bit of stalemate. It's unusual stuff. There's a little bit of that on championship deciding days, isn't there? You don't see the desperation. People have to be clever and get their points and finish. Gordon Kellett trying to have a go at John Elliff there. Wayne Laverick and Roy White in the middle of that one too. Here they come through Nordic Spirit one more time. Clock is at 0. It's going to be the checkered flag. It's going to be Michael Cullen. I'm not sure how many wins he's had at Mondello Park, but it's more than 1 or 2. He comes out of the final corner. Did his first race in 1984 in a Fiesta. It's 2024, he's in a Fiesta and he's going to win. Jack Conaghy's super drive to second place. Derek Graham, brilliant charge to third place, and McKillen equally impressive in fourth. Then Barnes with a heap of points, and there's Victor Cullen going through now, and it's just not working out for Victor. I wonder will they swap cars after the race, or can they change setup, or did Michael have a tweak done to his car that Victor didn't, because Victor needs to get a little bit of pace, and he won't have pole for race 2. That'll be Darragh McMullen. We'll have a look at the results here now. So as Christopher Grimes Sr. goes across the line, the ex-Jack Byrne car. So we'll see the results on screen now. There you go. Michael Cullen takes the win. Great drive from Jack Conaghy to second place. Derek Graham in third. Charlie McKillen in fourth place. Very impressive as well. Then Barnes, McMullen, McQuaid, Victor Cullen, Trevor Farrar and Brendan Fitzgerald. And then it's John Elliff, Gordon Kellett, Wayne Laverick, Roy White and Christopher Grimes Sr. We will see the Alloy Repair Centre Fiesta STs back out on track later on today. So we'll be back in a few minutes' time with back on track with action in a few minutes' time. After all that Fiesta ST action, it will be Formula Boss Ireland and Bob Copeland out in Jonathan Files, the ex-Ken Files Ralt RT4 will be a source of excitement. Bob, very little single-seater experience, but was going nicely in the car yesterday. So Formula Boss Ireland will be out on track shortly.
Hello, GSE.
The Blitz is more than just a logo to us. It represents who we are. It stands for the energy that flows into every single Opel, and for our restless ambition to always go further, even if it means to break old patterns. By 2028, we will be fully electric. This is our focus, our energy, and we manifest it with a new, even more energetic Blitz. Like never before, it stands for who we are and where we go. Because it's much more than just a logo. It's our compass to head forward.
So Connolly's top line, Boss Ireland lining up, and there's your championship points. Tony Greenan has already taken the championship. Great season for him. Absolutely incredible driving and really incredible pace too. Martin Daly is in second place. Tom Noel Robinson, Daniel Fardy, Mark Reed, Michael Connolly, Kaylee Cole, Michael Roach, Gary Graham and Jonathan Files. So that's championship standings. We are on the grid, and it's for the Connolly's top line grid. There's still some championship points there. Carl O'Brien, Max Hart, Eamon Maston, Stanley Watson. We're going to get going when we're looking at championship points. It's Connolly on pole position. It's Carl O'Brien alongside him. And it's Dara Daly. Noel Robinson. Great stuff. There's no Noel Robinson. Great start from Dara Daly. Really having a go down into turn one in Martin Daly's car. And he's having to go around the outside of Michael Connolly. It's the two big cars up front. And Carl O'Brien gets bundled back to third place. Joe Courtney, Martin Daly, Eamon Maston and Michael Roach. The rest of that grid. In fact, Michael Roach, 46, is in the pit lane there. So there we go, problem for that. Looks like he's not going to get out of the car. He is going to get out of the car, unfortunately. That's a great start from Dara Daly. He was a little bit of opposite block as he piled on the power going underneath me there. Bob Copeland in the Rolls RT4. We spoke about going nicely as well. They come back towards us. It can be very difficult to get these big World Series cars up to temperature. Michael Connolly, though, has got the head down. Hill climbing background. Race to Radical was very quick, had a win in a Radical actually, and has been absolutely flying in this beautifully turned out car now, but he's just driving away in the early stages. Dara Daly, very impressive. I don't know if Dara has any experience in that car at all. I know we've seen him out in an F3 car before, but certainly not in that car. He's hanging on, isn't he, to Michael Connolly? It's good that he's brave. Look at the car moving around under him. Both of these drivers pushing very hard very early in this race, and these cars don't take well to that sometimes. Martin Daly was telling us during the year the brakes can be very hard to get up to temperature, never mind the tyres. As it shows us Noel Robinson going through. Is that Noel Robinson in the Rolls and not and not Bob Copeland. It might be, because I think Noel Robinson may have had a shunt this morning. It looks like he's switched over to Jonathan Files' role. I'm not so sure. I didn't get any info on that one, but apologies for that. That's what's coming up on the timing screen, so let's assume that's what's happening. Here come the leaders, and Dara Daly's not being left, is he? He's in second place. I think he's a bit closer, you know, as they come out of the final corner. They sound fantastic, these cars, as they go by us. Just listen to the roar as they go by the commentary box. Fastest lap, Dara Daly, 51.4. How is he doing this? Incredible stuff. He's piling the pressure on Michael Connolly now. This is good stuff from Dara Daly. I know the clue is in the surname. I know how quick the Dalys are, but this is incredible stuff. Just jumping into the car like that and really having a go. And he looks like he's been in it all season long. Car moving around under him on lap 1. It didn't seem to bother him in the slightest. He's pushing so hard here. Carl O'Brien going nicely in third place, but just wouldn't have the brake horsepower. These cars in front. Michael Connolly's gone purple in one of the sectors though, so maybe beginning to get the car up to temperature, but certainly not being able to shake off Dara Daly just yet. And again, Daly later on the brakes, up towards the final corner, later on a turn in, should give him a slightly better exit as they piled apart. Look at Dara Daly with the hell tilted over to the left, getting straying right in the wheel tracks of the car in front. Connolly and Daly go through now. It's 51.7 for the leader, 51.6 for Daly. He's closer than he was by a tenth, and he's right up under the wing of that car down at Castle Corner. They're through Campion now. They get back on the power of the exit of that one. Oh, Daly kicking up a little bit of dust on the exit. That's cost him time, but there is no shortage of commitment. Again, the Dunshaughlin Dalys have always been fast and committed at Mondello Park. He gets right into the apex there. This is probably where he needs to get the head down, calm down, and not let Michael Connolly get away. We know how quick Michael Connolly is in these cars, and he's really at ease, but Daly, I think, is coming back up to him again. He is visibly closer than he was when he lost the time on the exit of Campion Corner. And again, he's so late in the brakes. It's easier to follow than it is to lead, but certainly look at that. He's right back with him again. He's looking very quick today. That's as close as he's been. Is he going to get a run on the main straight? He's right under the back wing as they go by us. Connolly holds the inside, leaves a gap, and Daly just stuffs it down the inside of the brakes. Thanks very much, I'll have the lead. Incredible stuff from Dara Daly. Leaves two black marks on the ground, Jonathan Files style, as he piles on the power, and he begins to ease away already on the exit of Campion Corner. This is incredible stuff. I'm hugely impressed by this. We know how quick Michael Connolly is. We know how well the car is run, but Dara Daly's just grabbing this car by the scruff of the neck. Incredible pace, and not afraid to just launch it down the inside and take the lead away, and he's beginning to drive away. I think we're going to get another fastest lap. We see a purple sector lighting up on my screen here ahead of us. Look at the lead. He's pushing so hard. It looks like a qualifying lap. He's not afraid of this car at all. It's moving around under him, coming out of the SS through Nordic Spirit Corner, and he's just not lifting out of it one little bit. And he's got a massive lead as he comes out onto the main straight. There we are, 51.356, fastest lap, fastest sectors, you name it. Purple lights coming on everywhere. There we go, Dara Daly in the Renault World Series car, out in front and just driving away. Incredible stuff. Still 10 minutes to go. We're only at 1/3 distance, but it is a very, very impressive drive from Dara Daly. Right into the apex there, no mistakes. Same for Connolly. Carl O'Brien's been doing monoposter racing in the UK. He did come back over here. He's a very quick driver. Came to our attention when he was driving with Paul Healy's team. Paul's always been a great help to young drivers. He did a lot of racing in the Leaston 1000, which is a great way to get to UK racing with monoposto class. We've seen it with Max Hart, and many other drivers progress well. And in fact, Paul has tested Holly Dunyan and Roisin Sweeney at Kirkstown lately in that bike engine car. So that's how we know Carl O'Brien, of course. Very, very quick driver. Wouldn't have anywhere near the power of the two cars in front, but he's keeping them in sight. In fact, he's closing in, I think, a little bit on Michael Connolly. Last time around a 52.1, he did a personal best. 53.2, Donnelly slowing down. He had done a 51.7 earlier on. Dara Daly still in the 51s. Down to turn 3. Yeah, in fact, that battle's closing up now for second place. Having a look down the inside, that time is Carl O'Brien. Won't be able to do it short of straight line. Surely he's better off staying there for the toe. Yeah, massive speed difference in the straight line as Connolly just gets away from him. Look at that by the end of the straight, but then look at O'Brien closing him down. Smaller, lighter, more nimble car. They say the F3 car is actually more suited to Mondello Park than these big cars, although it doesn't look it today the way Dara Daly's going. And Michael Connolly, before he had, I think has he got a problem? He slowed down a little bit. Well, not so much, out to a 53.2 that time round, but he has done a 51.7 earlier in this race. Carl O'Brien very quick through the first apex, turn 3, gets right into that second apex. That gives him the run up the hill. He gets alongside, but the bigger car just about pulls it back. Daly disappearing down the road now. He's a second quicker than them pretty much last time round. There's the big slice up the inside, and he gets it done, I think, but will he be able to hold it off in a straight line? I don't think so. Gets a good exit though, gets himself a length or two, but here comes the Connolly's top line machine on the outside, just blasts back by him. O'Brien thinking of a sniff down the inside, but decides to go high and wide and get a full racing line to stay under that big back wing. He gets alongside again on the exit. He's going to sit around the outside for Campion corner. Brave stuff from young O'Brien. Gets it done. Can he hold it to turn 3? He needs to. He just moves across to just cover that move, and he has it. So if he gets a good run through here, which he has, and a clean run up out of here, will he have enough of a lead coming onto the main straight? Michael Connolly is thinking what I'm thinking, because the car got out of shape there as he stood on the bar, but I think O'Brien is going to have enough of a lead. The S's will help him again through the medium speed first bit and the higher speed Nordic Spirit second bit. Nordic Spirit going right out onto the curves from Carl O'Brien. Great driving as the leader still begins to ease away. Still in the 51s last time round, 52.6 actually that time round. Let's see what O'Brien can do. He's looking in his mirrors, but he's certainly safe enough. That's a good lap for him. Oh, 52.6. He's done a 52.1. So Carl O'Brien's best lap is only 8/10 slower than the leader's best lap. So he's got plenty of pace in that car. Let's see what he can do now with a clear track ahead, not having to do an overtaking maneuver. Should be back down to the low 52s. It's a quick lap time around Mondello Park. But Daly, O'Brien, Connolly, and Martin Daly in 4th place. We haven't spoken about Martin at all. And then Noel Robinson, who I think had a spin early on, lost a lot of time in the early laps. Barry Rabbit just giving me some info there. Dara did a 50.2 in testing, I'm told. Well, that's impressive stuff. So brilliant. He's really quick, isn't it? 50.2. Not many people have been around Mondello in the 50-second bracket. I don't think there are too many of them. But the pace at Boston in recent years though has been very, very strong. With some more modern machinery coming in, it's always been competitive up front. So he's been in the 50s in testing. The track probably not at its quickest today, but certainly he's done a 51.3 in this one and a 52.7 last time round. He can ease off if he wants, although that's not something the Dailies tend to do by their nature. But no problem to him at all there as he blasts through. And O'Brien goes through on a 52.080. Martin Daly goes through in the F3 car, but Dara Daly out in front, no problem to him at all. He's going to put a lap, I think, on Noel Robinson, who's got down to a 53.8, 53.7 in fact in that Rawls. Pretty impressive stuff. There it is, beautiful late 70s Rawls RT4, raced by Ken Files, of course, when this class started off as Formula Libre, the late Ken Files. And Dan Daly bought the car. It's been bought back by Jonathan Files, put back into Ken's livery. So here comes just in front of the leader now. 4 minutes 24 still to run in this. It's all a little bit stretched out. So Dara Daly leading by 5.3 seconds. But, similar lap times now from Carl O'Brien. 52.184 for Dara Daly, 52.208 for Carl O'Brien last time round. 54.4 for Michael Connolly, 54.3 actually for Martin Daly. Martin Daly slightly quicker than Michael Connolly, but a little bit back down the road. So just watching the leader here. In fact, Robinson has picked up the pace quite a lot in the 53s, as we said. 54 last time round, but he's at 53, high 53s. Blue flag being waved. He's not going to catch him just that easily. Robinson just looking for championship points, I'd imagine. Robinson sits around the outside, lets the leader through, then gets back on the power. He's every bit as quick through Campion corner, but he won't have the brake horsepower in a straight line, although it's not slow, that car. Jonathan Files showed us that last time out here at Mondello. But you're looking at 40-year-old technology, really. Oh, Robinson, I would imagine, really enjoying it as the car moves around under him. Looks very well sorted, though. But it's Daly, O'Brien and Connolly, the top three in this one now with 3 minutes to go. So closing stage of this one now, 15 seconds showing on the clock. I'm not sure if we'll get a checkered flag, but it's been a wonderful drive from Dara Daly. Very impressive stuff. No, he's going to get another lap. 7 seconds to go as he starts the final lap. 52.6. Oh, 52.1 for Carl O'Brien. Now, Carl O'Brien's taken half a second out of him, and he's less than 4 seconds behind. I'm not suggesting he can catch him, but it's a very impressive drive by Carl O'Brien too. Surely Dara Daly must be getting a little bit tired. Doesn't look it. But maybe he's just easing off a little bit, knows exactly what he's doing. But certainly that would be quite a physical car to drive at that speed for 15 minutes. The F3 car wouldn't be easy as well, but visibly closer now and pushing very, very hard is Carl O'Brien. These two absolute stars. They've both had a great race. Dara Daly is definitely easing off in the closing stages now. I'm sure he knows it's the last lap, but not easing off is Carl O'Brien in second place. They now can see each other on the main straight up to the final corner for the last time. Checkered flags being prepared. Going to be an absolute cracker of a win for Dara Daly. What a drive. He's delighted with that, and why wouldn't he be? He crosses the line and takes the checkered flag. And charging across the line to go a second quicker than him on that lap and bring the gap down to 3.1 seconds. Almost a second quicker is Carl O'Brien, a great run. And Michael Connolly in the Connolly's top line car. Early leader comes out of Southside Motor Factory's corner and he completes the podium in third place. Martin Daly will be next up in fourth place. And Noel Robinson has already taken the checkered flag. That will be all of our finishers. So here comes Martin Daly. He'll just be wondering, did Dara win in his car? Won't he be delighted with that one? Good run from him. Good pace later on. I think just getting used to that car. So we'll be interested to see how Martin can go in race 2 later on. So we'll have a look at the results for that one for the Connolly's Top Line Boss Ireland Championship. Race 1. Dara Daly takes the win after a great drive in the Renault World Series. Carl O'Brien in the F311 VW powered Formula 3 car, second place. Then Michael Connolly in another Renault World Series. Then Martin Daly in the Dallara, Noel Robinson in the RT4, and Eamon Madison, I don't think, he did 2 laps in that one, but certainly not running at the finish. That is us, I think, for the lunch break. Yeah, so we'll be back shortly on YouTube and Facebook. You can find the links on the ICCR page. ICCR is the channel on YouTube, and Irish Championship Circuit Racing on Facebook or socials if you want to find it. If you want to find out more about the championships, iccr.ie, just click on classes, it will tell you what it is. The marshals coming in there for their quick bit of lunch, a well-deserved break for them. And as we said, it might look beautiful on that picture if you're sitting at home on a nice warm sofa. The wind is absolutely howling here, and we have been warned of a storm this afternoon. We hope it stays away, but certainly the wind is whipping up. So well done to all the marshals so far, and great job from See It Live. We'll be back shortly with some more racing from the last ICCR Racing with Infinite Energy and the Beacon Hospital later on this afternoon.